Chapter 31 Military Training begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That night, the wind howled, whipping the lamp outside the window, creating a rustling sound. Ning Fan, bundled in a mink coat, sat cross-legged, engrossed in a war strategy book. Suddenly, a black shadow dropped soundlessly from the window, kneeling respectfully. His lean frame seemed to tremble in the wind. "My lord. Rise." Ning Fan didn't seem surprised. He produced a jade bottle and offered it. "Take this elixir. It contains 30 Tianyuan pills. Each Tianyuan pill grants 30 years of power, but no further internal strength gains are possible afterward." Whoa! Xuanyong looked shocked, accepting the bottle with solemnity. "My men have gathered a group of 16 and 17-year-old orphans, housed outside the city. With the Tianyuan pills, the mission can be executed within a month and a half, tops. My lord, can this elixir break through to higher realms?" "No." Ning Fan shook his head. "The elixir only works on martial artists. The weaker they are, the greater the effect. A top-tier martial artist might only gain 5 years of power. But a mortal with no foundation could gain 30 years. "Understood." Xuanyong nodded. "Any further instructions, my lord?" "When the time is right, infiltrate the 4 major families and secretly gather intel." "As you command." Xuanyong vanished into the night. Ning Fan returned to his book, borrowed from Duke Jingwe's mansion, studying it intently. "Congratulations, master, for completing the mission and studying the art of war." "Congratulations, master, you have acquired photographic memory, Sun Tzu's Art of War, 36 strategies." "After system evaluation, the task rating is A, and you will receive a high-level lottery." The system notification startled Ning Fan late that night. Command value exceeding 70 in just a few days. System, status report. Name, Ning Fan. Identity, the second prince of the Dayu Dynasty, King Xianxia, King Yu City's top playboy, VIP at Fengxiang Tower, chief instructor of the 100,000 new army. Strength, 44, intelligence, 81. Command, 70. Politics, 62, magic weapon, none. Mount, none. Skills, photographic memory, calligraphy, master level. Items, Lu Wei Dihuang pills, Sinomorium Gujing pills, Jinyi Shinchi pills, Wuxianzong pills, ancient formulas for tempering body, refined salt. Purification method, ancient brewing technology, Sun Tzu's Art of War, 36 strategies, combat skill, 13 deadly spears, basic level. Summon allies, Dian Wei, Shenwan San, Qin Xiong, Xuanyong star. Summon troops, Yenyun 18 cavalry. Seeing his command reach 70, Ning Fan felt a surge of joy. His politics score had also improved. The system was right. The lower the stats, the faster they improve. Reaching 70 command so quickly must be the camp and the party's doing. System, advanced lottery. A massive roulette wheel appeared in his mind, spinning until a prompt chimed. "Congratulations, master, for winning the legendary horse, the purple lightning flying dragon." A horse. A magnificent horse materialized before the window. Its purple coat gleamed, its height about 8 feet. Its head resembled a dragon, and its limbs were powerfully built. Ning Fan was captivated. It was a mount from the gods. "Huir." The horse's neigh shattered the silence, triggering a chorus of neighs across the city, waking people from their sleep. "Horse King." "Interesting." Ning Fan hopped out the window, gently stroking the dragon's forehead. The moonlight bathed its purple mane, enhancing its mystique. "My lord." "What in the—" Dian Wei arrived, drawn by the commotion. His jaw dropped at the sight of the horse. "Where did this come from?" A gift from the heavens." Ning Fan chuckled. "Saddle it up and take it to the camp first thing tomorrow." "Yes, sir." The night passed. At dawn, Ning Fan reluctantly dragged himself out of bed. The sky was still dark, and the wind bit through his clothes. My lord, Dian Wei, seemingly on standby, stood with the dragon in the courtyard. Let's head to the camp. They rode towards the western camp. Boom! 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 The drums echoed through the camp as the army raced to the training grounds, putting on their armor. 20,000 soldiers assembled. 4 figures approached and saluted. General Gu Lufang, Su Chongqing, Lin Yeping, Jing Tian report to your highness. Stand down. Ning Fan waved his hand, and the 4 stood straight, awaiting his orders. From now on, call me general in the camp and give me military salutes. No more, your highness. As you command. Get me armor. Yes, sir. A soldier presented armor. Ning Fan put it on and faced the army. Soldiers, from this day forward, I am the commander of the Qilin army. Training begins every day at 10 o'clock sharp, rain or shine. Generals, orders. Sir. Begin morning exercises, using the new method introduced yesterday. As you command. The 4 captains saluted and moved to their respective units, leading their 5,000 troops. Everyone, run laps around the camp for an hour. The last 500 will wash everyone's laundry. Yes, sir. Ning Fan watched from the platform. Basic equipment like horizontal bars and climbing poles had been built. With training based on the new manual, they could have a powerful army in under 3 months. Dian Wei. Run a few laps with me. Ning Fan and Dian Wei joined the soldiers, running laps. The uproar from the morning exercises rocked the camp and the surrounding forests. Phew! Invigorating. The court should be buzzing today. Ning Fan removed his armor. Dian Wei, ready my horse. We're heading to the palace for some fun. Okay. Chapter 32 Ning Fan goes to the palace. Emperor Yu passes on the blame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yuang City, Imperial Palace, Jinda Hall. The hour is upon us, all officials to court. At the ceremonial officer's booming call, the ministers filed into the hall. A resounding chorus of "Long live the Emperor" marked the traditional greeting between the ruler and his officials, signaling the start of the morning session. If there are matters to report, speak now. If not, the court is dismissed. Wei Ying's voice echoed through the hall. Just as ministers prepared to step forward, Emperor Yu abruptly waved his hand. Hold your reports. Where is the Minister of Justice? Here, your Majesty. Bring me that memorial. Emperor Yu's face was a thundercloud as he flung the document to the floor. The hall's temperature seemed to plummet. Minister of Justice Kai Ji paled, a flicker of panic crossing his face. He hurried to retrieve the memorial, and after a quick scan, his complexion turned ashen. He dropped to his knees with a thud. This. Your Majesty, I am deserving of death. Deserving of death, you say? Pass this memorial around to everyone in the censorate. I've ruled this country for over a century, and I've never seen such blatant corruption. If someone hadn't tipped me off, I'd have remained blissfully unaware of the vipers slithering through my court, cloaked in righteousness. I've shamed my ancestors and betrayed the people. Emperor Yu's fury was palpable. The memorial made its rounds, leaving the officials, both civil and military, aghast. Many visibly trembled and collapsed. Ministry of Personnel. Lord Zheng, enlighten me, what exactly is the purpose of your ministry? Were all those evaluations in previous years just worthless scraps of paper designed to deceive me? Witnessing the emperor's wrath, half the court dropped to their knees, begging for forgiveness. Lin Qiushi, seizing the moment, stepped forward and knelt before everyone. Your Majesty, as left Prime Minister, I confess my negligence. I beg for punishment, Your Majesty. Emperor Yu's expression hardened. What good would punishing you do? The Ministry of Justice, the Court of Judicial Review, the Censorate, they're all just figureheads. Corruption runs rampant. If this is what I see here, what's happening in the provinces? Is it possible that every county and prefecture is a paragon of virtue? I can only imagine what the people are saying behind my back. Emperor Yu took a deep breath, his gaze sweeping the room. Guards! Arrest every official named on that list and bring them to justice. Yes, Your Majesty. Jinyi, commander of the Imperial Guard, personally led his troops, dragging the accused officials from the court one by one. Exhausted, Emperor Yu slumped back into his chair. Your Majesty. His Highness, Prince Xuanyong, requests an audience. An eunuch approached the throne, his voice hushed. Emperor Yu's face tightened. He hadn't expected his son to appear now. After a pause, he conceded, let him in. Announce Prince Xuanyong. A tall figure strode into the hall, head held high. Father, your son is here. All eyes turned to the young prince, their faces a mix of surprise and speculation. Prince Xuanyong's notorious reputation was common knowledge throughout the capital. Why would he request an audience during the morning court? Prince Xuanyong, what brings you to court this morning? What important matter requires my attention? Reporting to the emperor, no matter. You taught me to pay more attention to the court and contribute to the well-being of the people of Dayu. I'm here to learn and listen to your wisdom. Very well, continue. Ning Fan stood quietly, an innocent expression on his face. He glanced around and feigned confusion. Gentlemen, why are so many ministers being arrested? Ahem. Lin Qiushi seemed to choke, bowing slightly. Your Highness, this is a court session. You must not. Ning Fan. Your son is here. I heard you reported a group of corrupt officials, rendering valuable service to the court. Tell me, what reward do you desire? Emperor Yu's voice was even. A glint of cunning flashed in his eyes as he looked at Ning Fan. Since you've decided to play along, I'll step aside and test your mettle. Ning Fan froze, caught off guard. The emperor was trying to put him on the spot. You dirty dog. The officials fixed their gaze on Ning Fan. Some were stunned, others skeptical, and still others with eyes gleaming with interest. Reporting to the emperor, I seek no reward. To contribute to the court is my duty. Those corrupt officials abused their power, took bribes, and twisted the law, creating chaos in our nation. They must be punished. I beg the emperor to severely punish those corrupt officials. All those involved must be dismissed and investigated. Show no mercy. The people deserve an explanation. The officials were more dumbfounded than ever. This sounded very unlike the dissolute playboy who cared only for women and wine. Many darted furtive glances at their superiors. It seemed someone had chosen a libertine to play as a pawn. Very well, so it shall be. I'll order the Ministry of Justice and the Court of Judicial Review to handle this case with utmost diligence. Father. Ning Fan stepped forward, glancing at the Minister of Justice before sneering. How is it that the Ministry of Justice, the Censorate, and the Court of Judicial Review failed to notice these scoundrels for so long? Father, I believe the fault lies not with those bodies. What do you mean by that? Reporting to Father, we rely on the Censorate to oversee all officials, and the Ministry of Justice and the Court of Judicial Review also wield supervisory authority. Yet, so many corrupt officials still flourished. Are we to believe that the members of the Censorate, the Ministry of Justice, and the Court of Judicial Review are all corrupt themselves? I refuse to believe it. The officials of the Ministry of Justice exchanged surprised and puzzled glances, hearing Ning Fan speak in their defense. So, what you are suggesting is... Reporting to the emperor, I think the problem isn't the fault of the ministers, but a flaw in Dayu's official oversight system. All the ministers are colleagues. Personal relationships inevitably develop, leading to hesitation and a reluctance to report wrongdoing. Over time, corruption festers. I suggest we establish a new supervisory body. One that reports directly to you, the emperor, overseeing officials internally and gathering intelligence externally. This would not only keep all ministers on their toes but also rigorously investigate those who break the law. The civil and military officials exchanged alarmed glances. So, this was the emperor's true intention all along. Your Highness, isn't that going too far? Kai Ji stepped forward. It's just a few corrupt officials. Why create such a fuss and trouble His Majesty? I cannot support this. Chapter 33. You will draft this imperial decree. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hold on a minute, Master Kai, you've got it all wrong. Every civil and military official in this dynasty, every prince, they all serve Dayu. If they fall apart, Dayu falls apart. If they all go down, Dayu will be in chaos. Ning Fan's voice rang with conviction, his gaze sweeping the room before landing squarely on Kai Ji. Master Kai suggests we're talking about just a few corrupt officials. But those few corrupt officials are impacting the lives of millions in Dayu. The king is the boat, the people are the water. And while water can float a boat, it can also sink it. Sounds like your years as an official have been a complete waste, Mr. Kai. Ning Fan's words were sharp, leaving no room for misunderstanding. Kai Ji's face darkened, and he gave a curt nod. Your Highness is right. I stand corrected. Water can float a boat, but it can also sink it. A very insightful point. Who knew a pampered prince could see things so clearly when none of my court officials could? Emperor Yu chuckled, turning his gaze to Ning Fan. King Xuanyong, if you have further thoughts, share them. Your Majesty, I've already prepared a formal proposal. I'd be honored if you'd review it. I've named this investigative body the Jinyi, with a commander. Ning Fan detailed the Jinyi structure they discussed. The duties of the Jinyi were vague, so he simply summarized them as, investigate and deal with corrupt officials. Emperor Yu gave it a perfunctory glance, then winked at Lin Qiushi and a few of his trusted ministers, asking casually, what do you all think of King Xuanyong's proposal? Your Majesty. I find it very reasonable. As His Highness says, the Jinyi will investigate and punish corrupt officials. As long as the rest of us do our jobs honestly, we have nothing to fear from the Jinyi. Therefore, I support the proposal. Lin Qiushi, the old fox, saw he couldn't dodge, so he was the first to jump on board. The Minister of Justice and the Minister of the Court of Revision, among others, looked grim. They hadn't expected Emperor Yu to go this far. Even Lin Qiushi was forced to pick a side. This was a clever trap by Emperor Yu. If they disagreed, he could accuse them of negligence, but if they agreed, they were essentially putting their heads in a noose. I support the proposal. Several more important ministers followed suit. Kai Ji hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward slightly, bowing his head. Your Majesty, I support the proposal. Good. The corner of Emperor Yu's lip quirked upward. Since there are no objections, we'll proceed with establishing the Jinyi. Ning Fan, King Xuanyong, you will serve as the Jinyi commander. You're responsible for guarding the palace, supervising officials, and publicly announcing the decree at the appointed time. One of the issues currently under investigation involves corrupt officials. Once the Jinyi is established, they will be brought to trial. Those found guilty will be severely punished, without exception. The Ministry of Justice, the Court of Revision, and the Ministry of Personnel will fully cooperate with King Xuanyong in forming his team. You can transfer any official below the 5th rank directly, no report needed. Emperor Yu's decision was swift, leaving the ministers reeling. Everyone was stunned, especially Lin Qiushi and Kai Ji. Wasn't the Jinyi supposed to suppress the court? Why give such an important position to a useless prince? Kai Ji breathed a sigh of relief and looked at Ning Fan with a sneer. Who knew Emperor Yu, usually so sharp, could make such a foolish move? Your Majesty, I accept the decree. Ning Fan bowed respectfully, glancing around with a smile. Gentlemen, I'm sure I'll be seeing a lot of you in the future. If I step on any toes, please let me know. Of course not. Your Highness is too kind. After the pleasantries, the morning court session droned on. It was all small talk, no real business. Ning Fan stood to the side, fighting off a yawn. Dismissed, that the cry of long live. Startled Ning Fan, who hurried out of the hall. After a brief pause, he headed straight for the Imperial study. Emperor Yu seemed to have anticipated his arrival. He'd already had tea prepared and watched Ning Fan enter the hall with a smile. Your son greets his father. Good, good. How did you find your first court session? Your Majesty, it was pointless. The Fengxiang Tower is closed in the mornings, otherwise, I can't imagine who would come to this place. Seeing Ning Fan's nonchalant attitude, Emperor Yu nearly crushed his teacup. This reprobate actually compared a brothel to the Jinyi Hall. Father, when will the Imperial edict be issued? I'm itching to get started. Humph. Emperor Yu snorted. Don't think this bit of power gives you free rein. Son, the waters of this court run deeper than you realize. One wrong step, and you'll drown without a trace. I'm pleased you have a plan in mind. But the foundations of these noble families cannot be shaken by you alone. Emperor Yu's face was unusually serious, a warning in his eyes. You have no loyalists yet, and antagonizing a group of corrupt officials stirred things up considerably. Before, you stayed out of politics, and although you did outrageous things, you didn't threaten their interests. So, no one plotted against you. But now, you're in the middle of the storm. There's no hiding. Every step must be taken with caution. Ning Fan listened intently, nodding. Your son will heed your teachings. Here. Emperor Yu reached out, handing over a golden scroll. Draft the Imperial edict yourself, and I'll stamp it. Ning Fan's expression froze. He gave Emperor Yu a long look, nodded, and, without hesitation, took the Imperial brush and began to write in a bold, elegant hand. When did you learn such beautiful calligraphy? I've never seen this style before. Who taught you? Emperor Yu was stunned, peering at the handwriting on the scroll with a puzzled look. Just something I picked up, nothing special. Well, use your free time to learn more. You need to know how to govern a country, deploy troops, and weigh the pros and cons. Emperor Yu took the edict Ning Fan had written, and seeing the 8 words Imperial authority permits, execute first and report later, he hesitated for a moment before grabbing the Imperial seal and slamming it down. Go. If you need anything, find Lin Qiushi. The old fox may be cunning, but he's not in league with those people. Don't make any rash moves until you have solid ground to stand on. Chapter 34 Mother's Background, System Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After leaving the Imperial study, Ning Fan didn't rush off but headed to Yaohua Palace. Your Highness. Is the concubine Xian in? She just went to bed. Okay, go announce me. Yes. A palace maid hurried inside, and soon a graceful woman emerged. Seeing Ning Fan, her face softened. Fanner. Greetings, mother. Silly boy, get up. It's been too long. Concubine Xian helped Ning Fan up and led him inside, ordering tea and snacks. This isn't a regular visit. Why are you here? Father gave me the royal gate pass yesterday, allowing me to enter the palace. Oh, a sneer crossed concubine Xian's face. He finally showed some sense. Tell me, are you in trouble, or do you just want to see me? Well. Actually, I haven't visited in a while. Concubine Xian smiled, giving Ning Fan a knowing look. My son's growing up and thinking of his mother. Everyone, leave us. I want to talk to King Xuanyong. Yes. The maids withdrew, and concubine Xian's expression turned serious. She studied Ning Fan for a moment. Did you come straight from the morning court? Yes. Why? Mother, I want that throne. Ning Fan was blunt. Concubine Xian remained calm, her voice steady. Don't forget who you are. You have Zhou royal blood. So. I'm still Emperor Dayu's son. Have you thought this through? I have. Seeing the determination in Ning Fan's eyes, Concubine Xian sighed and went deeper into the palace. She retrieved a box and placed it on the table. Inside, alongside some jewelry, was a dark wooden token of unknown material, cold to the touch. Do you remember your uncle Yeo? Yiyu? Ning Fan paused, picturing a gaunt, stern figure, the Uncle Yiyu she mentioned before. This token opens the hidden dragon cave, the Zhou dynasty's royal vault. Find Uncle Yiyu, and he'll take you there. Huh? Ning Fan's expression turned serious. Mother, where is the hidden dragon cave? It's our dynasty's secret place, holding martial arts manuals, treasures, and the blueprints for a complete set of bronze swordsman armor. This token is also the command medallion for our military intelligence organization, the Blood Phoenix. Yiyu risked everything to give it to me when our dynasty fell. Now, I'm giving it to you. Concubine Xian's face was a mix of emotions, with a hint of wistfulness. Since your father took the throne, the Blood Phoenix has been underground. I don't know if they're still alive. You have to find Yiyu first. Understood. Ning Fan stored the token and said, Mother, do you have allies in court? Of course. Concubine Xian gave him a long look, then walked to the window. Before your father was emperor, my word was law in Prince Chen's manor. I have a list here. Look it over and try to connect with them. However, I haven't contacted them in years. You'll have to vet them yourself to see if they're still trustworthy. Thank you, Mother. Go on. Concubine Xian nodded and watched Ning Fan leave. A figure approached her, bowing respectfully. Empress, His Highness. Let him do as he pleases. Concubine Xian's eyes were distant, staring beyond the palace walls, her face serene. After a moment, she murmured, Fanner, I'll protect you. Congratulations, you've accepted the position of Commander of the Imperial Guards. You've received the mission reward, Ming Dynasty Jinyi Guards Commander Dian Wei, 14 Jinyi Guards Captains, Elite Jinyi Guards *1000. Mission rating, A. You receive a high-level lottery ticket. Congratulations. For helping Emperor Yu establish the Imperial Guard, you gain 1000 merit points. Ning Fan was surprised. Merit points. 1000. This is the first time the merit reward system has been triggered, right? Seems I'm starting to get the hang of things. Ning Fan was pleased and picked up the pace. Summon the Jinyi members. Master, choose your location. Summon them directly, or insert them into different factions. Oh. Ning Fan grinned. Insert the elite Jinyi into different forces. Summon Commander Jiangli and the captains to Xuanyong Palace. Done. Jiangli and the 14 captains are waiting at Xuanyong Palace. The system finished, and a token appeared, along with information on the Jinyi. Ning Fan skimmed it and was delighted. These Jinyi had infiltrated the major forces and the 4 families. Trust the system. Looks like I don't need to sharpen the knife, it's already sharp enough. Let's begin. Ning Fan's eyes gleamed with murderous intent. He was determined to get that throne, but he was also ready to clean house along the way. My lord. Dian Wei approached. They got into the carriage and headed towards Xuanyong Palace. System, use the high-level lottery ticket. Congratulations. You've obtained advanced temperament, gentle and elegant. Advanced temperament, what's that? Ning Fan was puzzled. Suddenly, a wisp of white mist enveloped the carriage and vanished. Gentle and elegant? What the heck? It changes a person's temperament. Ning Fan was shocked. This advanced temperament directly altered his personality. If he was a spoiled brat before, now he was a cultured and refined young man. Poetic and intellectual, he didn't even need to speak, just his presence exuded knowledge and worldliness. This reward is insane. System, you're the best. Chapter 35, Emperor Yu's Attitude. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Prince Xuanyong's mansion. A dozen figures stood at attention. The leader, decked out in a flying fish suit with an embroidered spring knife at his hip, had a stern, chiseled face. He stood ramrod straight in the center of the hall, utterly composed. Lin Yong stood silently to one side, observing the group of men in their matching uniforms and gear. Each one radiated a palpable, sinister aura, like spirits risen from a battlefield of corpses. His Royal Highness, King Xuanyong, is here. Dian Wei reports to my lord. The stern young man dropped to one knee as Ning Fan appeared, bowing respectfully. The 14 men behind him mirrored his solemn silence. At ease, Ning Fan walked to the head of the room, a smile playing on his lips, and swept an admiring glance across the group. With you leading our Imperial Guards, you're bound to make a real difference, stamping out corruption for Dayu. Jian Wei. Sir. I've received my father's decree. From today forward, you're appointed Deputy Commander of the Imperial Guard. Your mission, to keep a sharp eye on the realm and immediately interrogate the corrupt officials identified by the court. We will show zero tolerance for any official who violates Dayu's laws. Those who deserve execution will be executed, and those who deserve to have their assets seized will be stripped bare. As you command. A glint of steel flickered in Jian Wei's eyes. He accepted the imperial decree from Ning Fan, looked out at the officers behind him, and barked, "Assemble all Imperial Guard members in the capital and launch independent investigations. Anyone who gets in your way, regardless of rank, is to be shot on sight." Understood. Murderous intent gleamed in the eyes of each of the 14 Imperial Guard captains, their eyes shining with anticipation. Lin Yong watched, a flicker of unease in his eyes. Ning Fan said softly, "If you encounter resistance, send word to me. I'll personally take care of it." Understood. As the men swiftly vacated the hall, Lin Yong finally couldn't contain himself. He stepped forward and whispered, "Second Master, what are you?" "Following the Emperor's orders, I'm assuming command of the Imperial Guards, patrolling, arresting, and investigating corrupt officials. But, this constant seizing of property, won't that land you in hot water?" "Ha, ask forgiveness, not permission. Royal authorities got my back." A hint of bloodlust flickered in Ning Fan's eyes. Since his father wanted to see blood, he didn't mind going on a rampage. He just wondered if his father could handle it once he saw how sharp his blade really was. Temporary Imperial Guard headquarters. Jian Wei led over 100 Imperial Guard generals, decked out in their flying fish uniforms and carrying embroidered spring knives, to their temporary headquarters. Construction of the official Imperial Guard headquarters was still underway, so this makeshift location would have to do for now. "Has everyone been brought in?" "Reporting, sir, all the corrupt officials the court investigated and dealt with today are being held inside." "Good. Carry on." Jian Wei strode toward the building. The guards on duty, seeing the menacing group approaching, each radiating an intense, murderous aura, instantly shrank back and wordlessly cleared a path. "Conduct separate interrogations. Once evidence is confirmed, proceed with immediate investigations. All embezzled funds and stolen goods are to be escorted here." Understood. 14 captains grinned and entered separate rooms. Soon after, screams echoed, a series of agonizing, piercing cries. "I'll talk. I confess. Just make it quick." Su Pengzhan, the Minister of Revenue, bribed Ma Ziyuan, the magistrate of Jingzhou Prefecture, with over 32,000 taels of silver 3 years ago. 2.5 years ago, under the guise of a birthday celebration, he extorted over 125,870 taels from local county officials. 1 year and 9 months ago. Jian Wei held a confession in his hand, reading it aloud. A cold smile touched the corner of his mouth. "Do you plead guilty?" I plead guilty. I plead guilty. Su Pengzhan hung his head, responding weakly. Jian Wei turned to the waiting guards behind him and said in a stern voice, "Prepare a team to seize the house of husband, Su Mansion, immediately. Inform the prince." Understood. My lord, His Majesty's plan kills 2 birds with 1 stone. What do you mean by that? Jia Su said with a searching look. First, His Majesty is testing you, giving you such overwhelming power. 6 officials from the Imperial court are at your mercy. His Majesty wants to see if you can withstand the pressure from the many aristocratic families and officials. Secondly, His Majesty wants to gauge the reaction of the major aristocratic families. Most of these officials are either hawks or direct descendants of the 4 major families. If these people are arrested without mercy, what will be the response from those families? While the Imperial Guard may be powerful, compared to the 4 major noble families, your foundation is still shallow, like an ant trying to shake a tree. It's safe to say that without His Majesty's support, you're a sword without an edge. Ning Fan, holding a cup of hot tea, smiled. My father is quite the strategist. If the 4 major families overreact, my father can take back my power at any time, and these officials will have already been eliminated. If the 4 prominent families play a wait-and-see game, my father can back me in the shortest possible time to create a balanced playing field. However, I never intended to rely on my father to gain a foothold in this court. Presumably, we should be hearing from Jian Wei soon. Jia Su nodded slightly, glancing to the side as a guard in a flying fish suit hurried over. Your Highness, Your Excellency has sent me to inform you that Su Pengzhan, the Minister of Revenue, has confessed. My lord has already dispatched men to surround the mansion. Good, Ning Fan said with a smile. Tell Jian Wei I'll be there shortly. Yes. Ning Fan looked at Jia Su and chuckled. Let's go, let's start with this Lord Su. After today, there will be a bloodbath in the capital. Someone, get over here. Yes. Prepare my official uniform. Ning Fan changed into a flying fish uniform, his face hardening, and, with his embroidered spring sword at his side, rushed to the residence of Su, the Minister of Revenue, along with Jia Su and Dian Wei, the palace. The Imperial Study. When Emperor Yu received the news from his secret guards, his eyes widened. He gripped the memorial tightly, saying in a deep voice, "Do not interfere. Assign guards to secretly protect the second brother. Since he wants to test the waters, let him hit a wall. I also want to see who gave him the confidence." If I remember correctly, Su Pengzhan was recommended by Chen Hanxing to enter the court. Yes. I didn't expect that he would be the first to target the Chen family. A sharp light flickered in Emperor Yu's eyes, and he said lightly, "Pay close attention to the movements of all parties, and report immediately if there's any news." Yes. The black-clad figure vanished. Emperor Yu's expression grew grave. In just half a day, he has pulled together an Imperial Guard team. Second brother. I underestimated you. Chapter 36. Anyone who stands in the way will be killed without mercy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside the palace, King Longfang. On the long street, a squad of Jinyi, decked out in their Feiyu uniforms and embroidered spring swords, marched towards the Su residence. Onlookers murmured, their faces etched with curiosity. Who are these guys? Never seen uniforms like that before. Definitely not from the Jingzhou prefecture. As the Jinyi halted in front of the Su mansion, the crowd thickened, eager for a glimpse of the unfolding drama. The Su residence. Isn't that where Su Pengzhan, the Minister of Revenue, lives? A big shot, a fourth-rank official, a sharp young man, leading the group, signaled, and the Jinyi quickly formed a cordon, surrounding the main gate. Who are you? Do you know where you are? What agency do you represent? An agitated old housekeeper emerged, his face reddened with fury. This is the residence of Minister Su. Do you have no respect for the law? I am Jiang Li, Deputy Commander of the Jinyi. By order of the Emperor, I'm investigating a corruption case. I have His Majesty's decree. Anyone who interferes will be executed. Jiang Li's eyes narrowed. He spotted 3 figures approaching on horseback and hurried to greet them. Your Excellency. At ease. Ning Fan, clad in his own Feiyu suit, dismounted, his hand resting on the hilt of his embroidered spring blade. Everyone, listen up. Seal off the Su residence. Secure all stolen goods and arrest everyone inside. Yes, sir. Jiang Li saluted smartly, relaying the order. The Jinyi surged forward, only to be met by a wall of servants spilling from the mansion. Anyone who interferes will be executed. You dare. The housekeeper, trembling with outrage, sputtered, this is the home of a high-ranking official. You can't just go around killing people. Stop them. No one enters this house without my master's permission. Perfect. A cold smile touched Ning Fan's lips. Kill them. At the command, the Jinyi drew their swords and charged. Jiang Lin, backed by several commanders, led the assault. The servants were hopelessly outmatched. Within moments, a dozen lay bleeding on the ground. The crowd recoiled in horror, stumbling backward. The housekeeper, petrified, pointed a shaking finger at Ning Fan. This is lawless. Someone, run to the Ministry of Revenue. Get the master back here. Don't bother. Your master is already in custody, suspected of massive corruption and bribery. Jiang Lin strode into the mansion, daring anyone to stop him. The Jinyi flooded the courtyards. It's over. We're doomed. Could it be the rumors about the master are true? The housekeeper collapsed, his face ashen. A blade pressed against his throat, and a playful voice whispered, want to live? Please, spare me. I might. Take me to the Su family treasury. If we recover the embezzled funds, you and many others might just survive. But if we find out you're hiding something, you'll die. Everyone in this house will die. Everyone connected to you will die. Ning Fan's voice, chilling and merciless, seemed to rise from the depths of hell. Yes, right away. I'll take you to the treasury. The old butler, his legs shaking, led Ning Fan toward the treasury. Ning Fan turned to Jiang Li. Have someone seize the Su family accountant. Yes, sir. Soon, Ning Fan and his party, guided by the trembling butler, reached the treasury. The heavy door swung open, and the Jinyi swarmed inside, hauling out chests. It took over a dozen men a long time to complete the inventory. Finally, a commander approached Ning Fan. Sir, we found over 60,000 taels of gold, over 420,000 taels of silver, and more than 1,000 pieces of jewelry. Take a look, sir. Before Ning Fan could speak, Jia Su murmured, the Ministry of Revenue truly is the court's purse. No wonder the treasury is bare. It's all ended up here. You forced my hand. A bloody light gleamed in Ning Fan's eyes. He stared at the boxes of gold. Wenhe, take my Imperial Gate order and Jinyi order and summon 1,000 Imperial guards here. Yes. Jia Su hurried off with the commander. Jiang Lin approached with his own group, bowing respectfully. Your Highness, all the Su family's account books are here. The accountant committed suicide. Good. As long as we have the books. Is everyone in the mansion secured? Yes, sir. Ning Fan nodded. According to the Emperor's investigation, the Minister of Revenue embezzled over 70,000 taels of silver. But here alone, we've seized gold, silver, and jewels worth nearly 1 million. Imagine, a vice minister amassing over 1 million taels. If we investigated all the corrupt officials, could we recover a year's worth of tax revenue? Jiang Li. Sir. Send word to the Yamen. Tell them I expect full confessions, today. Use any means necessary. Tonight, we make things happen. Yes, sir. The palace. Emperor Yu, preparing for bed, was interrupted by the hurried arrival of Jinyi, commander of the Imperial army. Your Majesty, King Xuanyong just sent someone with the Imperial Gate Order and Jinyi Order, requesting 1,000 Imperial guards. What? Emperor Yu's expression darkened. Why does he need them? Your Majesty, it seems His Highness just raided the Minister of Revenue's home. They found a fortune in stolen goods, and he said he needs the guards to transport it all. Oh, a faint smile played on Emperor Yu's lips. Making such a fuss over a few thousand taels. The boy is still too green. Your Majesty, he's only just assumed power. A little enthusiasm is to be expected. But sealing up a minister's home, won't it cause problems? Emperor Yu chuckled. As long as the stolen goods are recovered, I want to see what anyone can say. Go. Send him another 3,000 guards. Tell them to take orders from King Xuanyong for the next 3 days. Yes. Chapter 37 Undercurrents surge, people are shocked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On King Longfang's bustling street, vendors hawked their wares amidst throngs of shoppers. When a squad of Imperial guards in full armor came barreling down the road and halted in front of the Su residence, a crowd gathered to see what the commotion was all about. I am Wu Gang, captain of the Imperial Guards, acting under the orders of Commander-in-Chief and at the disposal of His Royal Highness Prince Xianxia. General Wu, right on time. Ning Fan smiled faintly. By Imperial decree, I'm investigating and prosecuting corrupt officials in the capital. We've seized over 1 million taels worth of stolen money and goods. I need the Imperial Guards to help transport it all to the Jinyi headquarters. Whoa! Wu Gang's face registered surprise as he took in the mountain of crates piled up in front of the Su residence. He gave Ning Fan a long look, then waved his hand. Men, get these goods to the Jinyi headquarters. Yes, sir. The onlookers were stunned, wondering if those boxes in the Su courtyard were actually filled with gold and silver, as over 1,000 guards swarmed the Su residence. Box after box of silver was loaded onto a line of carriages. More than 10 carriages, escorted by the guards, then made their way to the Jinyi headquarters. Jia Su walked quietly to Ning Fan's side and murmured, "My lord, why are you making such a public spectacle of this investigation?" To stir things up. Hee, I suspect you've flushed out more than just snakes this time. Jia Su gave Ning Fan a knowing look, and they headed for the Jinyi headquarters together. As they arrived, they spotted another detachment of Imperial guards on horseback. The general in the lead dismounted, strode up to Ning Fan, and bowed. Your Highness, I am Wu Changkong. By His Majesty's order, I am placing 3,000 Imperial guards at your disposal. Oh? Ning Fan appeared surprised, while Jia Su cast a thoughtful glance at the guards. This was, after all, the heart of the capital. Mobilizing even 1,000 private soldiers, let alone 3,000 elite guards, was enough to send shockwaves through the city. General Wu, you're just who I need. This should save us the trouble of storing it, Ning Fan said, a faint smile playing on his lips. He looked at Wu Gang. Captain Wu, unload these valuables in front of the Jinyi headquarters. Open every box. I want to open the public's eyes and serve as a warning to other officials. Yes, sir. Someone. Sir. Go and put up a sign in front of the Jinyi headquarters. Have the Minister of Personnel write the amount of the embezzled funds on it and make it public. Yes, sir. Ning Fan's actions visibly affected everyone present. Wu Changkong stepped forward to advise, Your Highness, that's a huge amount of wealth. Won't it attract thieves if it's displayed in front of the headquarters? Yes, Your Highness. It would be better to deposit it directly into the national treasury. Hee. A refined smile touched Ning Fan's face, his every movement radiating elegance, like a gentleman from a classical painting. With 2 generals here, who would dare to entertain such thoughts? Surely no one would be brazen enough to try and steal this money right under your noses? Well. Wu Changkong's face twisted into a wry smile. He turned to the soldiers behind him. You all heard His Highness. If any of this is lost, everyone, from me down to the lowest soldier, will be punished. Yes, sir, that the 3,000 Imperial guards quickly formed a perimeter around the Jinyi headquarters. Boxes of gold certificates and silver ingots were soon piled up in plain sight. Within minutes, crowds were gathering. Wow, what a fine Minister of Revenue. A fourth-rank official embezzled this much? String him up. These damn officials, instead of serving the people, only know how to bleed them dry. I heard the Jinyi is a new organization established by His Majesty, and the commander is that notorious playboy from the capital. You mean, Prince Xuanyong? That's right. This is a great thing, it takes a crook to catch a crook. Who's more crooked than Ning II? If he's really turning over a new leaf and serving the people wholeheartedly, that's fighting fire with fire. His Majesty is truly wise and virtuous. Groups of people buzzed with excitement, while the wealthy families in the capital slammed shut their gates. Chen Mansion, as one of the four most prominent families in Beijing, the Chen residence was lavishly decorated, rivaling even the homes of high-ranking officials. But today, an unsettling atmosphere permeated the Chen Mansion. One by one, figures slipped in through the back door and disappeared inside. Within an hour, 7 or 8 people had come and gone. In a hall, a middle-aged man in silk robes sat at the head of the table. Below him were several figures in plain robes, each exuding the air of someone who had held power for a long time. Brother Chen, you're aware of the situation. Mr. Su is now in the Jinyi headquarters, his fate uncertain. And Ning Fan dared to seize his property and even used the Imperial guards to help. He's completely disregarding the Chen family's reputation. Is His Majesty preparing to take real action against us? The speaker was a middle-aged man with a goatee, thin and tall, with a worried expression, yet he spoke respectfully to the man at the head of the table. Yes, Brother Chen. Mr. Su's life hangs in the balance, and several other colleagues have been taken to the Jinyi headquarters. We can't just sit here and wait to be arrested. I suggest we go directly to the Jinyi headquarters and demand his release. Even if he's a playboy, he won't dare to refuse you, Brother Chen. The middle-aged man known as Brother Chen stood up slowly, a gentle smile on his face. Gentlemen, please, don't panic. Ultimately, the Jinyi is just a tool in someone's hand. My assessment is that he's coming after us this time, testing our reaction. We must save Su Pengzhan and the others, but we can't be too hasty. If we provoke him, it won't do us any good. Besides, it's not just members of my Chen family involved this time. Then, what do you suggest we do, Brother Chen? I'm going to meet with that old fox Lin Qiushi. It's unusual for him to side with the palace, so something's going on. Go back and wait for my news. Yes, everyone left quickly. After exiting through the back door, they disappeared in different directions under the protection of their men. Find out the identities of those people. Understood. Several figures darted from the shadows, followed by others. Chapter 38, Jinyi Night Walk, Imperial Guards block the road. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jinyi Headquarters. The screams hadn't stopped since the guys in those flying fish uniforms showed up, and Ning Fan's desk was piling up with reports. Jia Su glanced through a few, his expression growing serious. My lord, 80% of these are corruption cases. And they all seem connected. The case of Su Pengzhan, the Vice Minister of Revenue, wasn't thoroughly investigated. Ha! Ning Fan scoffed. A Deputy Minister of Revenue skimming 1,000,000 taels of silver? If the minister didn't know, I'll eat my hat. Wenhe, isn't Su Pengzhan connected to the Chen family? He is. Jia Su hesitated. When Chen Hansheng was Minister of Revenue, he got Su Pengzhan appointed to the court and later promoted to Vice Minister. Which means the current Minister of Revenue is also tied to the Chens. Really? The current minister, Lu Hao, hails from Suzhou in Jiangnan. He's been entrenched there for 14 years. Interesting. A playful glint appeared in Ning Fan's eyes. So, my father definitely knows about this. The Ministry of Revenue controls the nation's purse strings. It's a crucial position, and it's fallen into the Chen family's hands. I underestimated them. My lord, not all the officials under investigation are from the Chen family. Other major families are involved too. Right now, Minister Lu Hao is playing innocent. These confessions don't implicate him at all. And a few people are clinging on, hoping someone will bail them out. If they're not giving up, let them watch closely what I do. Ning Fan lifted his teacup and took a sip. The tea was bitter, not nearly as fragrant as fried tea, but there was something about the bitterness, like he had never tasted a tea like that before. Unleash our informants. I want the dirt on Minister Lu, everything. Killing a bunch of small fry won't make a splash like taking down a tiger. Jiang Li. Here, sir. I want the lowdown on Lu Hao by nightfall. And find out where he's stashed his loot. Yes, sir. Jiang Li bowed and left. Ning Fan wore a confident smile. The Jinyui's best agents were embedded in all the major factions. Nothing happened in the capital without him knowing. Which is why Ning Fan was calling the shots. Sir. A captain hurried over, presenting a sealed letter. Half an hour ago, 8 people entered the Chen residence, including Qian Yanwen, the Minister of Imperial Household, Su Yan, the military equipment supervisor, and someone from Jingzhou Prefecture. Ning Fan took the letter, smiling. The fish are jumping into the net. Saves me the trouble. Looks like the other family's skeletons will be rattling soon. My lord, are you ready to? We start with the Minister of Revenue. Under the autumn moonlight, the leaves swirled across the lonely streets. It was a night for the Jinyi. Go! Go! The pounding of hooves echoed, quickly alerting the city guards. A squadron of armored guards advanced and surrounded the 100+ riders. Who rides in the capital after curfew? Jinyi on official business. Get out of the way. Sword in hand, face like stone, Jiang Li towered on his horse, glaring at the soldiers blocking his path. Jinyi. The captain hesitated. He'd heard about this new agency. Today was their first day, and they were already raiding the Minister of Revenue's house. The Jinyui's commander was His Royal Highness Xuanyong. Best not to mess with him. What business requires this at night? A house search. Jiang Li held up a cold token, tossing it to the captain. Jinyi executes first, reports later. We have the Emperor's approval. Move aside. Faced with this arrogant bunch, radiating menace, the captain hesitated. But Jiang Li simply barked, let's go. The captain watched them leave, then muttered, follow them. I'll report to the commander. The thunder of hooves ripped through the silent streets, jolting people awake. Jiang Li stopped before a luxurious mansion, embroidered spring blade in hand. Break down the door. No one escapes. Yes, sir. Two hulking Jinyi charged, one kicking the heavy red doors off their hinges. The team swarmed into the mansion. Who dares trespass on the Lu estate? Guards. To me. Thieves. We're being robbed. Protect the master. The shouts erupted. The entire Lu mansion was in chaos. Jiang Li remained calm. Kill anyone who resists. You dare. Call the guards. Kill these thugs. Someone, help. Outside the mansion, the city guard swallowed hard. Raiding the home of a top official. Did these Jinyi have a death wish? Captain, what do we do? Do we intervene? If the emperor blames us. The captain hesitated. He was about to order his men to stop them when a smooth voice called out. The Jinyi are handling this. The city guard should not interfere. The captain stepped aside as a young man in white silk, handsome and slender, approached. A gentle smile played on his lips, radiating an air of refinement. His Royal Highness Prince Xuanyong. Your Highness. No need for ceremony. Just take your men back to the barracks. Have a chat with your commander, tell him to ignore anything happening in the capital tonight. He just needs to guard the palace. We'll be hitting a few more families later. Try not to make too much noise. Ning Fan's face was serene. Even when talking about murder, his expression was as casual as if it was an everyday thing. Your Highness, this is the residence of Secretary Liu of the Ministry of Household Affairs. He's a top official. Without the Emperor's decree. Are you questioning the Jinyui's authority? No, sir. Ning Fan gave him a playful glance and strolled towards the Liu mansion. He didn't forget to glance back at the captain. Don't worry, the Emperor won't hold it against you. Sweat beaded on the captain's forehead. He turned to his men. What are you standing around for? Back to the barracks, now. Chapter 39 Emperor Yu, who gave him the courage? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ning Fan walked into the Liu mansion, a metallic tang clinging to the air. He wrinkled his nose. This was a first for him, and he wasn't exactly a fan. Your Highness. Jian Wei hurried over, followed closely by several Imperial guards in their distinctive feathered uniforms. What's the situation? Ning Fan asked. We've implicated everyone in the Liu family, except for the direct descendants, Jian Wei reported. Take me to see Lord Liu. Yes, sir. Jian Wei led Ning Fan to an ornate courtyard. An elderly man in silk robes sat on a large chair, his face calm but imposing. Lord Liu, Ning Fan said with a smile, his demeanor disarming. Ma Yingjie studied Ning Fan, his gaze lingering. Finally, he said, it seems you're not as terrible as the rumors suggest. His Majesty really did beget someone special. You flatter me, sir, Ning Fan replied. It seems I won't be hearing the morning bell tomorrow. Sir, I admire your acceptance. Ha! Ma Yingjie seemed unfazed. What you did today probably wasn't on the Emperor's orders. Oh. Ning Fan feigned surprise, waiting. What makes you say that? If His Majesty knew, he would never let you run wild like this. That's a fair point. You seem very confident. You must be sure of me. Well, if I were in your shoes, I doubt I could be as composed as you are. Both men laughed. Ma Yingjie rose and slowly approached Ning Fan. Jian Wei's eyes narrowed, his hand instinctively moving towards his sword hilt. Before he could act, Ning Fan raised a hand. Stand down. I want a word with Lord Liu. Yes, Your Highness. Jian Wei and the others retreated. Ma Yingjie stopped a few feet away, admiration in his eyes. Your Highness, you've been too rash tonight. What do you mean? Tomorrow morning, you'll face the full fury of the court. So. Do you realize that half the officials in the capital are tied to the Chen family? Is that a threat, sir? No, Ma Yingjie said softly. It's a warning. Don't underestimate the Chen family. Thank you for the heads up. Ning Fan took a scroll from Ma Yingjie. Jian Wei, see Lord Liu on his way. Your Highness. Ma Yingjie's voice trembled. He stared at Ning Fan, his voice raspy. For the sake of this document, will you spare one of my Liu family? Ning Fan's smile remained, but his eyes turned ice cold. Ma Yingjie let out a wild laugh. The world has misjudged me, Ma Yingjie. Is there anyone who truly understood King Xuanyong? The next generation is truly to be feared. Ma Yingjie suddenly drew a dagger and plunged it into his own heart. Before he died, he looked at Ning Fan, his lips barely moving. Let's go, sir, Ning Fan said, after a long pause. His voice was soft in the courtyard. Jian Wei, time to move on. Yes, Your Highness. Jian Wei wiped the blood from his blade, addressing the Imperial guards. according to the list, before dawn, all their property will be confiscated and they will be executed. As you command. Meanwhile, at the palace, Tianwu Gate. Jinyi paled as he listened to the general's hushed report. Order the streets around the Lu mansion sealed off immediately. No one in, no one out. Yes, sir. You, come with me to the palace. Yes, sir. The general, visibly nervous, followed Jinyi. Commander, His Highness had one more message for you. Please tell him. His Highness said, guard the palace strictly. There will be a few executions later, and he doesn't want you getting involved. What? Jinyi stumbled, nearly falling. He grabbed the general's arm. Are you sure those were King Xianyong's exact words? Absolutely, General. I'd stake my life on it. Jinyi took a deep breath and quickened his pace. He was stopped by several eunuchs at the palace gates. Commander Jing, what's going on? Showing up so late. Eunuch Wei, please inform His Majesty that I have an urgent matter to report. This. Wei Ying looked uncomfortable. Commander, it's past midnight, and His Majesty has already retired. I can't bear to disturb him. Eunuch Wei, this is critical. Please inform him. I'll take full responsibility if His Majesty is displeased. Commander, you don't have to say that. Wei Ying perked up. Commander Jing, please wait a moment. We'll go and report. Thank you. Shortly after, Wei Ying hurried out. Commander Jing, His Majesty invites you in. Okay, lead the way. And who is this? My lieutenant. Please remove your armor and weapons. It's late. Of course. Jinyi was about to enter the palace when another figure rushed towards them, clearly distressed. Commander. The sixth family, boom, Jinyi's body stiffened. Suppressing his turmoil, he looked at Wei Ying. Eunuch Wei, hurry, take us in. Seeing Jinyi's obvious distress, Wei Ying didn't hesitate and led them into the palace. Emperor Yu, in his robe, sat at a jade table, yawning. He frowned at the hurried arrival. Jinyi, what's the meaning of this commotion? Your Majesty. Half an hour ago, Prince Xuanyong led the Imperial Guard to confiscate Minister of Revenue Lu Hao's family holdings and execute them. What did you say? Emperor Yu stood abruptly, wide awake, disbelief etched on his face. Tell me again, whose house did Ning Fan raid? Minister of Revenue, Lord Lu Hao, boom, Jinyi's words struck Emperor Yu like a thunderbolt. The old eunuch beside him was also stunned. Jinyi continued, Your Majesty, that's not all. As I was entering the palace, His Highness had already slaughtered 6 families. Rebellious son. That rebel, how dare he? Lord Lu is a second-rank official. Where did he get the nerve? Chapter 40 King Xuanyong is a madman. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Your Majesty, should we stop the prince? He's still raiding those houses. No. Send word immediately, I want that little troublemaker in the palace, pronto. Yes, Your Majesty. Jinyi bowed, turning to leave, then paused, remembering something. He faced the emperor. Oh, and Your Majesty, the Jinyi soldiers who returned today reported that the prince seized an insane amount of stolen money from the Minister of Revenue's residence. We're talking tens of thousands of taels of silver. Emperor Yu frowned. Are we talking closer to 100,000 taels? Sir, my men say the prince found over 60,000 taels of silver plus more than 420,000 taels of pure silver, and over 1,000 pieces of jewelry and jade at Minister Su's place. What? Emperor Yu recoiled, stunned, his shoulders shaking. How is that possible? How could a minor minister be that rich? Is that accurate? Absolutely. Jinyi nodded firmly. His officers say the prince displayed all the confiscated gold and silver right in front of the Jinyi headquarters, and even put up a sign making it public. It's a total circus in the capital right now. Damn, Emperor Yu rubbed his temples, pulling his robe tighter around him. Alright, bring that loose cannon here, now. Yes, sir. Kick the damn door in. Jiang Yu waved his hand, and the heavy red door splintered under a wooden ram. An angry voice roared from inside, how dare you break into the Zhang household at this hour? Jinyi. We're here on official business, to arrest Zhang Yan, a corrupt official. Humph, I'm a fourth-rank official. What is this Jinyi BS? Who sent you? Enough talk. Just take him down. You got it, Dian Wei yelled, this is the last one, guys. After this, we can finally hit the hay. Alright. These crooked officials are loaded. Sir, the gold and silver in this place has to be worth more than 5 million taels. Ha! And then some. A pack of royal guards stormed the residence, bursting into Zhang's treasury with ease. Holy crap! Did we just hit the jackpot? It's all gold bars. Under the torchlight, the treasury blazed, a solid sea of gold. Even the Jinyi were stunned. The sheer volume of gold bars, stacked on shelves, was overwhelming, even more impressive than the display at the headquarters. What a low-down, dirty thief. A small-time official like this. Got him? Sir, he's in custody. Take him to the Yamen for questioning. Right away. Jinyi headquarters. Ning Fan, lit by a lamp, examined a report handed to him by Xianxia. The ink was still wet, so it was obviously rushed. It contained information about the Qin family and the connections of several high-ranking officials in the court. The Qin family, huh? No wonder the Minister of Revenue was terrified. Xianxia must have been well compensated for his loyalty. Pity. Ning Fan set the report down, accidentally knocking over the candle. A drop of wax landed on the page. Ning Fan wiped away the wax, frowned, and held the page closer to the candlelight. Small lines of writing appeared. Crap. After reading the tiny print, Ning Fan's expression changed dramatically. He carefully tucked the report into his robes and hurried into the courtyard. Sir, I got the vinegar. Forget it. Ning Fan waved his hand. Get the horses ready. We're going to the palace. To the palace? Dian Wei was surprised. Sir, it's late. The emperor's probably already asleep. Don't be stupid, just get the horses. Okay. Dian Wei scratched his head and quickly fetched 2 horses. As they were about to ride off, a man in armor, leading a troop of mounted soldiers, approached. His Royal Highness King Xuanyong. The Emperor commands you to appear before him immediately. Commander Jingda. Ning Fan looked startled, then smiled. Looks like my father's had enough. As the group prepared to depart for the palace, a squadron of guards escorted a group of prisoners, slowly approaching. Jiang Wei hurried forward, bowed, and announced, Your Highness, we've raided the homes of 13 corrupt officials. Here's the list of findings for your review. Good. Ning Fan nodded, tucking Jiang Gu's report under his arm. After a quick glance, a shiver went down his spine. I have a feeling my father's about to have a very busy night. Qin family residence. Even late at night, the lights burned brightly. A rapid knock echoed at the door. Once the door was opened, a black-robed figure whispered something, then slipped inside. Moments later, in the main hall, the black-robed figure removed his cloak and said, Master Chen, something's happened. Jinyi raided the homes of Minister Ma Lu Hao and 12 other high-ranking officials, arresting them all. What did you say? The man known as Master Chen San's face went white. When did this happen? Just now. That's impossible. The Emperor wouldn't risk such a move now. Master San, we need to act fast. Chen Quan balled his fists, paused, and said, Let's wait. I suspect this is not what His Majesty wanted. Huh, that the black-robed man stared. Could it be the prince? Maybe. Master Chen San's eyes narrowed, gleaming with cunning. The war in the east is critical. The emperor needs the Chen family now. He would never jeopardize our relationship at this time. I'd wager it's that idiot King Xuanyong, acting on his own. Does he dare? Humph, he's just a spoiled brat, hardly capable of rational thought. That madman. Both men felt a deep sense of frustration. In their eyes, King Xuanyong was a maniac. Anyone could see that Emperor Yu had appointed the prince as head of the Jinyi to be nothing more than a puppet. But now, it was clear, the prince wasn't a puppet at all, but a completely unhinged loose cannon. Master, what do we do? We wait, and see. Alert our people. At tomorrow's morning court, we force the emperor to abdicate. Understood.